Emmett frowned, not understanding. So, grandfather's sick? Had they put him in another part of the house so no one else would catch what he had?
Your grandfather passed away 4 days ago.
His father wouldn't look at him either.
It was sudden, yes, but the man was already quite advanced in age.
His grandfather was... Emmett shook his head to keep the awful word dead from settling inside his mind. His father must be mistaken. We didn't think it right to call you away for the funeral before your final exams. His mother placed her hand on Emmett's shoulder. I'm sorry, Emmett. I know how much he... Emmett twisted out of her grasp. No! Grandfather isn't dead. He wrote me. He said we were going to the fair this year. His voice rose in volume as tears stung his eyes. He wouldn't go without seeing me, I know it.
The timing of it is unfortunate,
his father said.
However, there is no need to carry on in...
He'd had enough. Emmett spun on his heel and dashed down the hallway to his bedroom, desperate to get away from them. Raw emotion burned inside him. His dog, Bran, hopped up from the rug and trotted toward him as he entered. Emmett slammed the door shut, pressing his back against it. Any moment now he'd get a dressing down for his behavior. And yet, no one came. Had his mother somehow checked his father's rebuke for once? Emmett didn't know. After a minute or so, he slid to the floor. Then, burying his head in his dog's brown and white fur, he wept. He eventually cried himself to sleep and missed dinner. The next day, Emmett refused to leave his room. A maid brought up a tray, but he just picked at the food. He sat at the window, remembering funny stories his grandfather had told him. But the memories only made the ache inside him hurt worse. So he'd try to think of something else, like joking with his best friend, Avery Winfield, at school. That made him feel better for a little while. Only then he'd remember how he had wanted to tell grandfather those same stories, and the hurt and tears would start all over again. That night, Emmett slept fitfully. He kept dreaming he was in a carriage, one that moved so slowly it finally stopped altogether. He kept pleading with the driver to hurry, that he wouldn't make it in time. At one point he stirred awake and found his mother sitting by his bedside. "I'm so very sorry, Emmett," he heard her whisper. "We should have sent for you." He fell back asleep as her cool hand brushed his hair off his forehead. The following morning, Emmett awakened to the voices of his parents outside his door. Curious, he tiptoed across the room to listen.
Now his title and estate have been lost to some no-name cousin of yours,
his father was saying.
We would have faced the same fate had we not had Emmett. Still, there are days I wonder if older would have made a more fitting marquess.
Emmett winced at the reference to the older brother he'd never known. Alder had died as a child, several years before Emmett was born. But his two oldest sisters had told him that Alder had been the apple of their father's eye.
You dote on Emmett too much,
the marquess continued from out in the hall.
If he's going to be the man he must become, a future marquess, then he would do well to follow in my footsteps rather than his grandfather's.
The twisting of the door handle sent Emmett leaping backward. He scrambled to his bed and slid under the covers. It wasn't his mother who entered, as he'd expected. It was his father. Normally, Emmett was summoned to the study when the marquess wanted to speak with him.
Good, you're awake.
His father crossed to the bed as Emmett slowly sat up.
It's time for you to dress and join the family downstairs for breakfast. All of these tears and refusals to eat are further upsetting your mother and sisters, and they will not bring your grandfather back.
The marquess's rigid